Hello everyone, Nia the Killer here, and I'm here for a fan fiction story. And sorry I've not been working on the channel lately. Me and my friend got into a fight, haven't been talking, and then I got another friend to do the channel with me. So yeah, and I will, instead of actually doing the stories of how the creepypastas became, I'm going to be reading fan fictions because there aren't a lot of fan fictions. So yeah. I'm going to be reading a Laughing Jack fanfiction of 7 Minutes in Heaven. So every time I say blank or put your name in, if I say blank, just put your name in. So yeah. So let's begin. You reached your hand into Ben's hat and grabbed the first thing you touched. You pulled out an object that crinkled in your hand. It was really sticky. You opened your palm to find a candy wrapper in the middle of your hand. You stared at it and instantly knew who it was. You smiled. A smile creeped onto your lips. He had always flirted with you and made you blush. But he was kind of a player, so you never fully gave in. Well, looks like blank got me. You turned around to see LJ laughing a bit as he approached you. He walked over to you and you stood up and stayed beside him, staring at me, waiting for me to speak. So you know the general rules. Do whatever you want, and so on, yada yada yada. But it's 17 minutes, not 7, I said, smirking. Laughing Jack grabbed your hand with a smile and replied, "Well, the more time the merrier," before dragging you off to the closet as I shut and locked the door behind you. Inside the closet, the door shut behind you both as you fell a bit. Does that make sense? Sure, you like the insane clown that never seems to stop laughing, but you knew of some stories how he was with his woman, which was a little bit interesting, and not to mention heartbreaking, considering he was into one-night stands and you were more into real relationships. Laughing Jack stood up to you, expertly pinning you up against the wall and slipping his knees in between your legs as if he had done this 100 times. So blank. What are we going to do for 17 minutes? He said as if he had no clue. Well, to be honest, LJ, I don't know, you replied. Laughing Jack's smile vanished as your words hit his ears. What do you mean, you don't know? He asked, confused. Well, to be honest, LJ, you're kind of a player, and I want a real relationship, you told him honestly. Laughing Jack laughed a bit, but more of an ignorant laugh, not his usual happy laugh. So you think I don't like you enough for a serious relationship? He asked. You nodded your head up and down, causing Laughing Jack to look at the floor and laugh some more before looking back at you. No, blank. I do want a real relationship with you. Have you not noticed I have only been flirting with you and talking with you and thinking of you? Not any other girl lately. I can't get you out of my mind or fantasies I have of you. Sure, I won't really be a super gushy romantic type in a relationship, but I do want some action. But I can be, because lately all I can think about is you. Why do you think I rigged the game? He asked, truthfully. You rigged the game? How? You asked. Easily. I asked Sugar Rush to to have you go first, and then stick the candy wrapper to the side of the hat on top. I knew you would pick the first thing you touch because I know you, he explained. Your eyes widen a bit before smacking your lips onto his and putting your hands on the side of his face, making him step back a bit. He instantly wrapped his arms around you and pulled you close to him, deepening the kiss as he held onto you. You felt yourself become dizzy as you kissed him. The butterflies in your stomach started ripping into you from the inside. You swept your tongue across his top lip to watch him gladly and quickly parting his lips, and the kiss deepened. The way he was kissing you was so passionate, but so full of lust. You felt Laughing Jack's arms wrapped tightly around you as he pulled you up, while you solemnly jumped and wrapped your legs around his torso. He then backed you up against the wall as you grabbed the back of his neck with your fingertips. You felt lightheaded as he pushed you against the wall and granted his pelvis into you. You let out a loud moan as hips dug in against you. Jack, you moaned. Shh, baby, let me work, he whispered before slowly squatting down, then getting into a sitting position and positioned you up against the wall. He skillfully grabbed each of your wrists and pinned them on each side of your head as he wrapped your legs around him and pushed his body up against you. His head burned into the crease of your neck. I finally have you, he whispered before kissing along the spot between your neck and shoulder. He kissed from that spot and down your collarbone until he reached right above your shirt, where he stopped and stared at it disappointedly. This needs to go. It's in my way, he said in a pouty voice. He grabbed your wrist and placed them under his knees, successfully pinning them to where you had no use. You don't have to pin me down, you told him, laughing. But that makes everything more interesting, he told you. You playfully rolled your eyes at him as you watched him drag his hands up to the center of your shirt, and in seconds dragged his claws into the fabric and ripped it clean off you. You sat there, bare and displayed in front of him as he eyed your body, and mostly your black lace bra. Only one more layer, he sung. You laughed a bit, but was interrupted by Laughing Jack leaning down and gently kissing the soft skin right above your breast, making you gasp in pleasure. His hands stored and twerked. His hands rubbed up and down the sides of your arms as they remained pinned under his knees, while you held your breath, trying to keep the moans in. He started kissing you for a moment. He stopped kissing you for a moment and looked up at you, laughing at something. What's so funny, you said breathlessly. He laughed a bit more before answering. You do realize I could do anything I want to you right now, and you wouldn't be able to stop me, right? He grinned. You do realize that would be rape, right? You said back to him, laughing. He lowered his head over right next to yours as his hands rested on the sides of your thighs, one Once his lips were right next to yours, he whispered, "It's only rape if you don't like it." You melted at the feeling of his warm breath tickling at the inside of your ear. His thumbs rubbed circles on the inside of your thighs. Then what he did next caused you to bite your lip and close your eyes, trying to keep the sounds of some fiction of pleasure from escaping your throat. He looked at the inside of your ear, then dragged his tongue down your jaw until he got to your lips, where he pulled his thumbs from between your lips with his fingers, then passionately kissed you. You kissed back with just as much force as he was giving. Moments later, he then stopped kissing you, and then completely got off of you, crawling backward away from you with a smirk. "What are you do?" You were cut off by Laughing Jack grabbing your ankles and pulling you underneath him. He grinned down at you just as you returned the smile. "That's better," he commented before swinging his legs over you to straddle your hips, then then continuing your kiss. He took his hands and gripped at your sides while you put your hand up on his neck, rubbing his raven black hair. He slowly lowered himself on top of you, and you could feel his excitement pulsing off him in waves. You could also literally feel it against the side of your leg, causing you to smile more. Before things could get any farther, the door suddenly opened with a bright neon white light filling the room, making you both shut your eyes. When the light and pain in your eyes swarmed, you looked up to see me staring at both of you. Well, I guess it makes sense. I'm guessing you'll both be going up to Ida's room now, right? I asked. Laughing Jack looked down at you before smirking. I guess that sounds like a good plan," he said out loud to no one in particular. Seconds later, your vision darkened and your head felt like it was twisting from the inside. But just as soon as it came, it left. You looked around to see your surroundings were different. Now you were on a rather comfortable bed in a rather familiar room. Then it hit you. Laughing Jack teleported you both to his room and looked up to see Laughing Jack staring at you and smiling. "Why are you staring at me like that?" you asked. "Because I want to remember your sweet face before I make you scream my name." Well, that is it. All 1,563 words. My mouth is really dry now. Well, I'll see you guys later. This has been Mia the Killer signing off. Yeah. ROL forever.